Good afternoon. Happy Stampers. How's everybody on this Monday? I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend. My name is Judi Anderson from judistamps.com, and I'm an independent demonstrator here in the United States. I'd like to welcome all my live viewers, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it when you join me live. If you're watching on replay, welcome to you too. I appreciate you coming in and watching it when you have time to watch it, either on YouTube or Facebook. Make sure you say hello. Let me know you're here. Let me know where you're coming from. And don't hesitate to give me hearts and thumbs up when you are loving what I am bringing you. I am just checking to make sure that I am on live. And I am not seeing anything right now on my phone. So hang on just a second. Okay, I must be live because Janet's saying hello. Good afternoon, Janet. So I am on. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to move my phone here. Once again, I am streaming on StreamYard. So you may have to give StreamYard permission for me to see your comments. And hello, Becky. We haven't seen you for a while. Welcome. This must be a good time for you. So I am continuing with fall themed cards, and today I am going to be using the Rustic Harvest Suite. I love the suite. I love the colors. It really puts you into that pumpkin spice mood, should we say. So I am going to be using probably some things not like you would normally use them, should I say. And I'm going to give you guys some options. So I'm going to give you some options as I'm showing you the materials I'm using today. And you're going to give me your choice. And then I am going to work with that. So you guys are putting me on the spot, right? But that's okay. I love a little challenge in my stamping. So I'm going to turn you around and see. Okay. Well, it was, sorry, it was all lined up, and I don't know what keeps happening, why it keeps moving. It just moves just a smidge, but it's just enough that I'm off camera. Okay, you're going to find the Rustic Harvest Suite on pages 48 and 49 of the mini catalog. This suite contains the Hello Harvest bundle, which is this stamp set and dies. And then you also get these wonderful leaf label and amber gems combo pack. And it does include, when you buy the suite, you are going to get the embossing additions toolkit, which is the tray, the embossing buddy, the little tweezers, and that little brush. You're going to get some 12 by 12 black, basic black cardstock. Now, we do not carry basic black 12 by 12 in our annual catalog. So you are going to need to stock up on this. I use this in my, not the 12 by 12, not only in my card making, but also in home decor, 3D items, as well as my scrapbook pages. I think black is a perfect background, especially for some of your older pictures. Like when I say older, I'm talking about those from my grandparents and some from my parents and even myself. I hate to admit it, but even when I was younger, I just love the black as a background. So make sure you buy some up because we want Stampin' Up! To know that we need 12 by 12 black. Now, the last item in this suite is the Rustic Harvest 12 by 12. This is gorgeous, gorgeous paper with Mary Merlot, Cajun Craze, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Basic Black, and Mossy Meadow as colors in there. And I am going to put a little twist on that today. I am not, one of my colors is not in the listed colors that are in this designer series paper. Like I said, this designer series paper is gorgeous. It's very rich colors. I just think it's beautiful for the fall. So we have pumpkins on this side, and then on this side, it's a black and white theme. This side has got not only pumpkins, but actually different gourds. You've got your Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't, it just went out my head. It's got the acorns and oh my gosh, what kind of tree is that? I have one in my yard. Oh my gosh, help me out, you guys. Oh my gosh, oak tree. That's it. Oak tree. Oak tree leaves, and just different leaves and different gourds on here. I just love it. I love the colors that they've used. Once again, on the reverse side, it's a black and white. Then we've got this one, which I think they're supposed to be mums. They kind of look like dahlias to me, or mums, and butterflies. And this strip, you guys, would be gorgeous. Either dividing it, cutting it off. If you want the butterflies, you're going to want to cut it at the bottom. Cut it so that it's 5 1/4 long by 4 inch, and you'll get 3 cards out of this. Or use it as a strip across your scrapbook pages. It would make a gorgeous on the bottom, and you have to really do hardly anything else to those pages. On the back of this, it's black and white again. This side has got a crushed curry. It's got leaves and just a little bit of floral. It's kind of like a floral pattern, but it's more leaves. And once again, here's that oak leaves and the acorns here coordinating with that other paper. I remembered. Don't you just hate it when you know what you want to say, but it flew off your brain and you can't bring it back? Oh, I don't know. With my getting older, um, it seems like my mind and my brain is doing more of that. So this is a crushed curry, and I just love this little striped with the little dots. It kind of reminds me of corduroy, um, or I don't. It's just a very rustic, natural feel, an earthy feel to this paper. And in the back, we've got different leaves again in black and white. And then our final piece is mossy meadow with the little scrolls on there, which reminds me of the vines from pumpkins and gourds and even cucumbers, right? And then on the back, we have another black and white pattern. So, like I said, I am in love with this paper. And I know if you get it, you will be too if you don't already have it. So I'm going to move my papers away. So some of the things we're going to use today is we are going to obviously use the leaf label and amber gems combo pack. And these gems, you guys, they're not orange, they're not gold, they're just gorgeous and remind you of fall. They're just beautiful to add on to any of your fall projects. And these leaves are actually tags, but we're going to do something special with that today. Okay, I am using the Evening Evergreen plaid ribbon. Now, I know Evening Evergreen is not in here, but I think it coordinates, and I like a pattern ribbon on my cards. And then we have our Baker's Twines, the assortment pack, because I've run out of my natural colors. So we're probably going to use, depending on what your choices are, we're either going to use this vanilla or the crumb cake or craft looking. And here's the stamp set. This is a stamp of 11 stamps. It includes images and sentiments, and they're so versatile. And these little scrolls here, this is reminiscent of that designer series paper, um, can make a project depending on how you use them. And then we have that oak leaf down here. Then we have our dies. And the dies we're going to use today is we are going to use these pumpkins that also have embossing on them. And I may use some scrolls also. Going to see how my project comes together. I always add, as you know. Okay, so we have our card base. It's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to go ahead and fold that. And I would burnish it with my bone folder, except it's under my paper trimmer. Okay, I'm getting ready for a big event and I have stuff all over my table, and that makes me anxious. Yes, my stamping area does get dirty as I'm working on it, but I like to try to clean it off before I start something else. and I did not do that today. Okay, then we have our designer series papers, and I have some 1-inch strips, and we're going to be using these, and I'm going to show you in what order I'm going to put them. I think I'm going to have the crushed curry in the middle, and then one on these on either side, and I'm going to have these on either side of that. Now I'm going to cut them to 4-inch lengths, and I'm going to do that while you guys are deciding what color I'm going to use in a second. Then I have a piece of vellum, and our vellum cardstock, and it measures 3 3/4 inches by 5. How I came to this size is I had a piece that was 5 inches long, so I says, well, you know what? I'm going to cut it at 3 3/4, and there we go. I may, and I have a feeling I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I think I'm going to go down to 4 1/4, and that means I'll take 3/4 of an inch off of this way also. So it would be 3 inches wide by 4 1/4, I believe. Okay, decision time. I want to know if you want me to do my pumpkins in very vanilla. Now, that is like the in thing, you know, these last couple years is these white and vanilla looking pumpkins. Or do you want me to use pumpkin pie? Now, this is the color that's not in here, but I will be using some Cajun craze, sponging it on there. So it's going to make it look a little bit different. I probably will take a soft suede to the vanilla. So tell me which one you want me to use. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get my paper trimmer out. And once again, all of these strips are 1-inch strips. Okay, so I can get actually 3 cards out of one 1-inch strip when I cut them to 4 inches. Now this piece was a little bit shorter because I had used it for something else already. Can't remember if it was a project on here or another project I did in one of my in-person classes, but I just remember using it. So we're going to cut those to 4 inches. And I want more of the yellow gourd in this one, but I don't, that one side's got quite a bit. So I'm going to go to this side. So I still have some of those yellow gourds in here along with some of the Merlot and the Cajun craze. And then we have our mossy meadow. So we'll cut that at 4 inches also. Did you guys see my thumb? I broke my nail. I should have them all cut. I was actually doing my weighted hula hoop the other day and tried to do it the reverse. And I used to be able to do it all the time reverse, but it kind of started going kitty wampus and I caught my nail. Okay, so we have these. While I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and cut this from 3 3/4 down to 3 inches. So I'm cutting 3/4 of an inch off. I don't have to know what this length is. I can just go to the 3/4 inch mark. Okay. So we have got that. So let's see what you guys are doing. Okay, you guys, well, okay. Okay, I've got 2 pumpkin pies and 1 very vanilla. Okay, so we're going to go to pumpkin pie. So we're going to set all our pieces to the side. Well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put these on. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my designer series paper. So I'm going to put these on. And let me put them in the order. So this is my middle one. This is my top. This can be here. This is my bottom. Okay, so I am going to put my vellum on. And when I put my vellum on, a lot of it's going to be covered. But before I do that, I am going to take, my vellum goes on next, but I'm going to take my scissors and I am just going to rough up the edge a little bit. And it doesn't have to be even. You know what? I have been into this roughing the edges lately. And I like it when it's got that little rip in it. So I just kind of rub it along, and it can be tore a little bit. It doesn't matter. That just adds to my card. Get that. Let's get this along the left side here. And I don't even have my scissors open for this. You do have to kind of hold the vellum because it doesn't tear real easy, but it tears just a little bit easier than your cardstock. There we go. This side didn't rough up. There we go. Okay, so we've got that all set. So now we're going to go ahead and put our designer series papers on. So I am going to be using the liquid glue for this. I want a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. Just put it on like that. This is a great way to use up your paper strips. And you know what, you guys? You can use this and do this with any designer series paper. Now I am going to put this sideways so I stay on camera. And I'm just going to put this down here. And then I'm going to go to the top piece. Okay, I do this for a reason. I can kind of put this on, just eyeballing the gap or the spacing between the top and the bottom. And this does not matter. I'm going to do the Cajun craze here. It doesn't even have to be on here straight. You can put them on crooked if you want. In fact, that kind of adds to it. And if you, whoops, if it bothers you, in fact, I'm going to do them crooked on purpose. You see, I still have some wiggle room here. So this one, I'm going to put this way and leave a little bit of gap there. Okay, no, I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to do it the other way because now they're both running in the same direction. So let's put this up, give our gap over here. There we go. Now I'm going to take the center and I can eyeball that center and make it even. Now, if I had done them straight, I can play with that gap in the center. So I always go from the outside in, no matter what I do when I'm doing a lot of these. So we've got that on there. So next, I want to put my vellum. So we're going to stick the vellum on here. But before we stick the vellum on here, I am going to grab my stamp set. And in this stamp set, we have the pumpkin. So what I want to do is I want to stamp some pumpkins on my vellum. And I am going to do it after I've adhered it. So I am just going to put just a very little bit of liquid glue on here. Okay, because remember, you can kind of see your adhesive through your vellum. But we're going to be layering some pieces on here, and I'm going to press that down. Okay, and what that's going to do is that's going to move that adhesive out a little bit so it's not as bunched up. And see how that softens the colors on the inside? Okay, so now I am going to take my Cajun craze and I want to stamp some pumpkins. Now, not all my pumpkins are going to be on the vellum. So I want to get a piece of basic white or copy paper because I want this to go off the paper. Now it is layered on. I'm not going to worry about if it's stamped perfectly. That is not going to bother me. Over here, now you're going to, you know what, I'm going to do the bottom one next because I want to stamp off. So this one, I am going to grab another piece. You know, the funny thing is, I do have some Post-it notes here. And so what I will do, because this will work better, I'll just take a Post-it note, put it on that corner, and put it on this corner. Now, the reason why I'm stamping it on here, I don't necessarily want these images to be perfect on here. Okay, and I want some lighter than others. And I am just going to be stamping 3 on here. This one is going to be super light. Let me get this right here. And like I said, we're going to be putting some stuff on top of this. Okay, so that's going to give it some depth. It does take a minute to dry, so we're going to set that to the side. While that's drying, we're going to grab our cut and emboss machine and let's cut out those pumpkin pie pieces. I think I am going to, I'm going to try this both ways. We're going to cut out 2 pumpkins, okay? I want to show you both ways. So let me get my orange, because to me, Cajun Craze is an orange color. And so we're going to take our blending brush, just blend right here, both directions, and I am just going to blend some color onto my pumpkin pie. Ooh, that's really dark. Okay, I'm going to start way off here because that's a lot darker than I want. Okay, and you can see it on there, but it's not heavy. See how it's kind of swirled on there? And that's going to give our pumpkin some more texture. So let's grab our pieces. I just want to make sure, okay, these back on too good. Okay, we're going to put these on. It doesn't matter in what direction we do them. That one that way. And do this one this way. Okay, I am going to grab my cut and emboss machine, and I have the big one just because it's handy. I'm going to take that magnetic plate off because we can't get it anymore. Okay, let's get these pieces on here and line them all up again. Like I said, it doesn't really matter in which direction we do this in. Just going to get them on there and then let's cut them. So our sandwich is plate number 1, plate number 2, and then 2 of the plate number 3s. Okay. Now, oh, I can show you just on these. I don't have to cut more. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this on these 3 pieces. So you could color, and this, oh, that's not going to work because it doesn't, you know what, it doesn't emboss all the way through. I thought it would. I thought it'd be bumping out on the other side. But I'm just going to show you this now that I put my machine to the side. I'm just going to take some Cajun Craze, and just in these areas where it's embossed, I'm just going to go over just a little bit more. Okay. So that is going to add, now, can you guys see the difference there? Do you see it? Add a little bit more right there. Oh, I think my dogs need to go out. I'm the only one home right now. Oh, this is the top of my pumpkin. I think I should have done that a different color. Oh dear. I should have. I'm going to grab a different color here for this one. So let's grab, oh, soft suede. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull that machine out anyways. So what I'm gonna do is I'll cut another pumpkin out. Okay, let's get this all on here. Get our paper down. Here's our soft suede. Where are my dies? Oh no. Now that I've moved everything, okay, had to get my paper. Just going to stick the papers on this way, my cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and put that stem right there. And I am going to flip this paper over because I don't want to get any of that color there. And I'll let you guys vote which pumpkin you want me to use. How does that sound? Making you guys work today. Okay, we're going to slide this in, push it down, and then we don't have to have anything hold our dies there. Okay. Okay, so what did you guys do over the weekend? Anything exciting? I've been getting ready for my event. Okay, so we've got these and I embellished it a little bit. So I'm just going to take my blending brush and I'm going to go over those areas just a smidgen. Okay, now I'm going to ink it up. I'm actually going to take it and like we did with our sponges or our sponge daubers, I'm just going to add some shading around the edges of my pumpkin pieces. Okay, and let's see if you can see the difference. So there is the difference. So this one has more of the coloring around the outside, and then this one is throughout the entire piece. Okay, so we're going to layer these on. And you know what? We could mix and match them. And then they're very similar. In fact, I like this piece because it's lighter in the middle and it gives it dimension. And speaking of dimension, I'm going to take this piece and I am going to curve it around my finger, just like that. I don't want a crease, I just want a curvature. And then down the center of this one, I am going to add some dimensionals. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep that dimension that I put into that pumpkin. And I'm putting 4 of them. I'm not going to chintz out on this. Okay, let's get those chads off of there. I do this quite often in some of my projects. Okay, we're going to add that. Decide where you want it. It doesn't have to be quite centered. It could be off-centered, which I'm going to do. Okay, and then we can just take this and we can use that same Cajun craze and go around the edge of this. And it doesn't look real orangey, but it does give it that, oops, my light's bad here. I have it in the wrong position. There we go. It just gives it a little bit of dimension there. So now you can decide if you want it up, do you want it down, do you want it crooked? I'm going to do it kind of crooked. So I'm going to take my liquid glue, my multi-purpose glue. I love this stuff. And I'm going to put the glue on the front. Okay, and there's a reason for that. I am going to stick it to this front piece. Just like that. A little curvature. Okay, let's let that dry. We're going to move this one off to the side. In the meantime, now we're going to grab 1 or 2 leaves. I think I'm going to grab 2. Okay, and I am not going to worry about those holes in the tags. You know, I had a couple people comment, well, Judy, you know, if I want to use it as a leaf, it's got a hole in it. Oh, don't worry. We can cover that hole up, right? I mean, how many times do we have an opportunity when we stamp? Okay, I'm just inking this back up again. And once again, I am going to color my leaves. Just a smidgen. And they don't have to be the same. Ink this one up. And this one I'm going to go up the center. I didn't do that on that other one. And I'm going to leave the edges more of a brown, so the center is more the orange. So see how they are different? Okay, so let me get our stuff and we're going to start putting this card together. Should be dry. Make sure here. Oh, it is still a little wet. Okay, I'm going to take my heat gun to it because I do not want to smear it. I could, if I wanted, take a paper towel, if I had one handy, or, you know, I could even take a piece of paper and just blot it on top of it. But I just don't want to smear it because I've attached it. So let's just dry it real quick. I'm going to cover up my mic. Okay, we're going to give it just another second to dry. Our pieces are here. Let's grab our ribbon. We can do that. Oh, and I don't have my ribbon scissors here. I don't have my my paper snips are here. So I am going to grab, about a 5-inch piece of ribbon. I'm going to angle it. So you know I like those angled corners, those angled ends on there. Angle that. Now I want to take my twine and I want to tie my twine around here. I'm going to show you a little trick. So since you chose the pumpkin pie, I am going to use the natural twine. And you know, this is kind of like those bags at the grocery store that you can never get open. And of course, the one I want is all the way at the other end. I could even use black. The black would be sharp too, but since the ribbon is darker, I want to use it lighter. Okay, so I'm going to grab my ribbon, my twine like this. I'm going to take my ribbon. I want it to be like this. I'm going to do a tie here. So I'm going to take it and have the end down here, and I'm going to leave quite a bit of an end to it because I want to do a bow. Okay, so I've got it laying there. I'm going to take it in my fingers, twist it, and then tighten it. Okay, and then, whoops, let go of that. And I want that in farther. I'm going to do the same thing again. That is known, if you macrame, a half hitch, or if you boat, you learn, or if you have a Boy Scout, they learn that in scouting. I learned it when I was younger on the boat. Now I don't want that definitely going anywhere, so I am going to tie a bow. And so let's go, and I'm going to grab my end there, just wrap it around, and go like this. And that bow isn't going to go anywhere. Now you could wrap that around one more time, do that half hitch. You could do 3 of them. Okay, just because I'm on camera, I'm having difficulty here. Let me hold this all like that, wrap it around. I just got to get that one piece of twine there. And I pull it and then I adjust my bow from there. So I'm just going to pull it. Oh my gosh, such difficulties today. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to pull those ears down, pull the tail. Okay, now I've got those tails down. I am going to pull on both at the same time, and that tightens it up, and I kind of lost that one. And that'll tighten it up. Okay, and make a perfect bow every time. Okay, so we're going to have that. We're actually going to be putting this right down here. So I am grabbing some glue dots for that. I like attaching, when I'm going to attach ribbons, I like attaching it using glue dots. They just seem to work better. And I can put a couple on here. So I'm putting one at the knot, and then I'm doing one down just a little bit. Okay, and we are just going to place that right about here and hope that that's good placement. Okay, so now we have our leaves and we have our pumpkin, and we're going to place those on here, and we need to kind of figure out how we're going to do this. So I know that I think just like that is fine. So see how the vellum is there, but we're kind of covering it up. I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid glue on both these. Let's flip them over. I think that one, just as long as it's inside the outside of the card. And once again, don't worry about those holes. We've got a way to cover them. Okay, now we've already added dimensional to this, so I don't want to add any more dimensionals, especially if I'm going to mail it. When it gets really thick. So we're going to put our pumpkin right here and just press it down. Okay, so now I am going to grab a piece of basic white. And we have the, oh, I think I'm going to do You Are Such a Blessing. I've done the hello already on another project, so I'm going to do this one. You Are Such a Blessing, and with the Cajun Craze. And we're almost done. Hang on just a second, please. Hey, Cab. Oh, I thought it was my son. Might not be. Okay. Oh, that's a little crooked. Let's try that again. 2 tries. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to clip that. We're just going to do a nice square. I'm going to go ahead and just put some liquid glue there. We are going to put this down, and I'm going to trim these legs of this off a little bit. Overlap that like that. Let's trim these. I'm not going to trim them too much, but just enough. Okay, now we're ready for our embellishments. Let's use these amber gems. So, have you figured it out yet? Voila! We'll put a small one here and another one here. Let them kind of dance around the leaves. I think I'm going to put one right down here, another big one. Okay, so there is our card. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So Janet went to the cabin this weekend. Oh, how fun. I hope you had a great time with family or friends. You know, cabins, it's so relaxing when you get away, right? I find that when we go to our cabin, it's just relaxing to get away. And it's just kind of like lifting and frees you, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to make another fall card tomorrow. We'll see. I'm going to try something a little bit different tomorrow. I'm going to look in my stamp supplies here and see if I have a stamp that you wouldn't necessarily think of as a fall stamp set. Okay, so, oh my gosh, I've got my head chopped off. So, until we meet again, everybody, happy stamping.